You may be seated. Shabbat shalom again. Shabbat shalom. So many of you know I was not here 2 weekends ago, 2 Shabbats ago, because I was in Los Angeles with 13 of our 11th and 12th graders who were part of a new pilot program called Barron Scholars. And it's a program that is, the goal of the entire program is to give our students the leadership skills, the leadership qualities, so that they can go onto college campuses in the next couple years and be prepared to both advocate for Israel and also stand up against all of the anti-Semitism we're seeing on college campuses. It was a phenomenal weekend. I was so incredibly proud of our teens who sat in session after session for hours and hours and were not only attentive, but really participatory. It's one of those moments like you have when you're a parent, when you see the light go on in your kid's head, right? Like you could see the light going on in our kid's head. They got to hear from some incredible speakers throughout the weekend as well. And one of the biggest messages that they kept trying to implore upon our teens is that you don't have to become the Hillel president, right? You don't have to become the person that's standing up in front of everyone to be a leader. You can be a leader in small and quiet ways as well. And that leads me right into our Haftarah for this morning. And something else that many of you may know who have taken classes with me, that this morning's Haftarah is my favorite story in the entire Tanakh. My favorite story in the entire Hebrew Bible. And that is the story of Deborah, our prophetess. The Haftarah this morning is the story of Deborah. And we're told about a time where there was this evil person named Sisera, and they were attacking us, and things weren't going so great. And Barak is the head of the army that is supposed to lead our Jewish people into battle to hopefully defeat Sisera and his evil army. And Deborah is the judge, the prophetess, and he goes to Deborah and says, Barak goes to Deborah and says, I don't feel so great about this. What do you think? Can you, come to battle? And Deborah says, if I come with you and the army to battle, then a woman is going to get credit for winning the battle. And Barak says, okay, fine, figuring it's going to be Deborah, right? Deborah is the leader of our people at that point. And Barak says, no big deal, sounds good, Deborah, you come along with me. So Deborah comes with them, and ultimately they are successful. Sisera and his men are starting to run away, and as Sisera's running away, he comes across a tent. And the person living in the tent, her name is Yael. And Yael invites Sisera in, realizes who he is, like the leader of the other army, and says, come on into my tent. You can relax here. I'll keep you safe. They won't find you here. They won't even suspect that you're in here. She gives him some warm milk, and he falls asleep. And of course, as he's sleeping, she takes one of the tent pegs and literally stabs him in the head and kills him. Right? And Yael gets all the credit. Right? It's a great story because you don't see it coming, right? And I happen to love it. The reason why it's chosen as the Haftarah for this morning, by the way, is that right after the story, Deborah sings a song. It's called Shirah, right? And it's meant to mirror, right, Shirah Hayam that we just read, right, our Song of the Sea. But the bigger part of the lesson from this story, I believe, is that leadership can be found in many different ways. Right? Yael, no one had heard of Yael. No one knew Yael existed until suddenly she gets a one-line mention, right, in this story here in chapter 4 in the book of Judges. And suddenly she's the hero of the whole story, right? Because she realized what was going on and realized she could do something that might have come across as small, but actually save the day for our people. And it's a great lesson for us. There's a lot of things that we see going on in our world, and there are a lot of people that like to stand up and be the leaders in front of the room and doing things, but we can find leadership in quiet ways as well. And so my challenge for us on this Shabbat morning, as we see all of the things going on around us in our world, is stand up for your beliefs, right? Make sure that you're talking to others. Make sure that you're helping out in the little ways, not just the big ways, right? We don't have to get the credit. Yael was not looking for the credit, I promise. But we can do things in small ways so that we help each other out and continue to build up our community each and every day as well.